and I listed my cars. I woke up one morning to go check my ads. Everything was pulled.
Oh.
What the hell? The next day, I got a certified letter in the mail from eBay, 17 pages long, explaining why I was permanently banned from eBay.
Tell Chiro, I know you're in we're in a little bit of a time scale because we arrived really late, guys, because we're from England. Tell him a little bit of a brash tour of how you become the eBay outlaw.
So, let's see if we can do a 13 minutes.
Is that a global thing or South Carolina thing?
Oh, no, that was worldwide. Yeah, no, that's worldwide. 2001, just got married. I was 21 years old. I wanted to sell cars. That's all I've ever wanted to do. I love selling. I sold my first car when I was 16 years old.
Right, cool.
And I'll be honest with you, I sold a car before I could legally own one myself. I signed my mother's name to the title. So anyway, I wanted to sell cars. I didn't have the capital that I needed to buy cars that I wanted to sell, and I wanted to sell more. Like I bought one, well, I want to sell like 10. And I came up with a really cool idea that was relatively new at the time. eBay Motors was very young. I mean, this was in the early days of eBay Motors. And I was one of the first sellers for eBay on eBay Motors. There was a handful of us, probably about 100, across the country that were selling used cars. Well, the thing here in the South, we don't have rust issues. This is the motherland for clean used cars. Well, keep in mind, you can go 6 hours up the road, you've got snow, you got salt, you got rust problems, you got things like that. Well, clean used cars are a high commodity up there. You got to think, a car that's 5 years old, up north, if you go to Michigan or if you go to Indiana or Ohio or anywhere, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, wherever, and once you cross that line, it's like the rust belt, and it just goes to hell with cars up there. So, I mean, a brand new car within 5 years, rockers are gone. It's just, it just eats them up, brake lines and all that stuff. So cars bring a premium, obviously, up there. So what I did was I devised a plan to be able to sell cars and not have the capital that I had. So what I did was I went to every car lot. And keep in mind, this is Grenville, South Carolina. There's a car lot. We have car lots and churches. That's what we do here.
Yeah.
Preaching and selling. That's what we do. Funny how the two even go together sometimes. But anyway, so I went to all these car lots and I said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell cars for you online. Keep in mind, these guys were looking at me. They didn't have internet. They didn't have computers yet or anything. They thought the internet was just for porn. I mean, I'm like, I'm going to sell them online. They're like, yeah, whatever. I said, I'll tell you what. Give me the 3 cars you've had the longest and I will bring you more than what you're asking for them. And it's a proven thing. I've done it numerous times for myself. So I started out, I put 10 cars online. 7-day auctions, 1 week. Every one of them sold for more than what I was asking. Well, the next thing you know, they start telling their buddies. Next thing you know, they start telling their buddies. And I'm listing 300 cars a month. Doing great. I was an eBay power seller. I was actually the very first eBay power seller for eBay Motors. Everything's going good.
First eBay power seller.
I had the eBay golf shirt, the little plaque, the whole shit match. Did do all this stuff. I'm selling them all out of my little home office, just doing the thing. I'd listing cars. And what I would do is I would go to these car lots. And this was the thing. This is part of what got me. I was such a shooter. I wouldn't take pictures of the cars at the car lots. I would always find a parking lot next door. It'd be a church or a grocery store or a shopping center. And I would take the cars and I would just drive it one street over or whatever, right next door or whatever. I'd pull it over there so it's by itself and it's sitting on a used car lot somewhere. And I would take Joe Bob Bubba's used cars and I had these custom tags made that said eBay Motors on. And I put them on the back of the car and I'd take all the killer little shots, little 3/4 angles and this and this and this and this and have the Carfax report, all that stuff. And I'd take little notes, how many miles and this and then just all the little details about the car. And then I'd list them. And that's all I did. I mean, it wasn't magic, it wasn't rocket science. But the thing was, all my cars were going up north. The majority. And it worked great. I mean, I was making great money. I wasn't even using my money, and they were paying me. I actually charged a flat fee for every car I sold. And car dealers, if you ever realize you were a car dealer, they're the cheapest people on the planet. So they're sucker for a deal. So instead of charging them a percentage, like the more it brings, the more I make, it's a flat rate on every one of them. So some you do really good on, some do better than others, whatever, but you pay me this much. And that X amount of dollars. Well, I was doing that times, 300 cars a month, 100 cars a month, whatever. It added up pretty quick on me. It was looking pretty good. And next thing you know, I had car lots calling me from all over the place, wanting me to sell cars for them. So I would go around to their car lots. I'd have my little digital camera and just take pictures. And that's back when, all this technology blows my mind now, that's what you can do. I had a Sony CyberShot digital camera that would take like 40 pictures. And I had to change the little memory card out, put another one in. And I had like 30 of those cards, and they were numbered. That's how I could keep up with them. And I would take my notes, and it would be like, I'd put a little the number beside the notes on the card, so I knew where the pictures were that matched all the information.
So a short pause from all the action while we say a massive thank you to Vinwiki. Check out their channel. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't be here. As well as Ship My Car, who at some point in the near future are going to be shipping one of these back to the UK for us.
And
not rocket science, was flipping clever.
It's just a hustle.
Yeah.
And so I did that for a long time. I did that for about 4 years straight, and it's phenomenal. I'll be honest with you. I bought my very first home, and this is kind of a side story and gets into another story, but to tell you that story, I got to tell you this part. I bought my very first house in 2001 also, just a small starter home, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, but it was a nice little house, and it was brand new. I paid that house off in 3 years. So I was 24, or about to turn 24 years old, and I paid my home off in that amount of time. And how I got my house was I had a 63 Falcon Sprint. I've always been a classic car guy. I always had a cool hot rod. And I sold it, and that was the down payment on my house. And that's when I realized, man, I can make money playing around with cars. And I'm 21 years old. Most of my buddies got a shitty apartment. I got this badass brand new house. It's paid for now, And I sent my first wife to college, which probably that was a mistake, but beside the point, looking back, and we were doing well, and everything was going good. Actually, probably about 2.5, 3 years in, I actually got sent an invite to an eBay conference because it was for the big wheel, the big sellers and all that stuff, and they wanted me to come to it, and it was up in Charlotte, and I went to it, and they were explaining the proxy bidding system, how eBay still uses to this day. That's extremely flawed. The problem with proxy bidding is it's very obvious if you watch it enough, you can figure out really quick where the money runs out, where the real bid's about to end, and where the other one is. And you got a lot of people that shill bid and ghost bid. I didn't really do that. My problem was with the feedback score on eBay. Yeah. This is the thing. I sold you a used car, and you drove it 900 miles. If the air conditioning quit working, you're going to leave me, a bad feedback. I sold you a car, a $2,500 car, and you drove it 900 miles and it got you back. That car was worth it. You got your money's worth. But it was a flawed system because I could go buy a 50-cent item and get a positive feedback, and it carries the same amount of weight as selling a new Ferrari. Yeah. It's stupid. It don't make sense. So they would bring my feedback score. So what I did is I had accounts that would sell myself stuff so I could run my feedback back up. And I did that for a long time. It's 2 more years rocking on. And the business started kind of woeing down. Everybody kind of figured out the trick. More people were getting online. They're like, I can do what he does, and all that stuff. And next thing you know, the car was like, my grandson can put them online for me now, Yeah. It's whatever. And that's part of it. Nothing lasts forever. Yeah. And we had a good run. I'll never forget, I just listed some cars, and like I said, business was starting to kind of tremble down just a little bit. But everything was still rocking along pretty good. And I listed my cars. I woke up one morning to go check my ads. Everything was pulled. Oh. What the hell? The next day, I got a certified letter in the mail from eBay, 17 pages long, explaining why I was permanently banned from eBay. And this is the thing. And in my Vinwiki story, I tell the same story. Yeah. But in my Vinwiki story, this is the thing that's crazy. I used to joke people all the time. I said, talk about, and I said, go online and say you want to send a letter to eBay, or you want to give a phone number, or you want to call eBay. Not an email. You want to call, or you want to send snail mail to eBay. You can't do it. I got a stamped letter, certified, from them. and from San Jose, California. But anyway, we got all this stuff, and I mean, it was dead. I was out of the water. But this was the craziest thing, and I didn't get to touch on this in my eBay story so much, or my Vinwiki story on eBay, about the eBay thing. But this was the funny part. They didn't like all the other things where I was bumping up my feedback. That's the thing. I want to make that clear. I didn't do shilling. That's just straight up trying to shit somebody. I was just trying to fix my feedback to where, you know, I sold them a good car. That's a matter of opinion. You bought a used car. Yeah. And keep in mind, I sold thousands of cars over these years doing this on eBay. And, but the biggest thing, they got me for a copyright infringement because of my eBay Motors tags I was using. And they said I came off as a representative of eBay selling.
Yeah.
And
so as if it's endorsed by eBay Motors.
Exactly,
right?
it wasn't.
Which was clever to start with. That was good.
I thought it was just kind of cool idea to kind of make them all fluid, you know. But anyway, so and the thing is, when someone would win their auction, also how it worked, when they'd win their auction, I'd send them an email and say, hey, go to this address, which would be the car lot where that car's at. Do the paperwork. I'd come by the next week, pick up my check, take a picture of 3 more, go to the next car lot, go to the next car lot, go to the next car lot. I sold 3 every week for all my lots. And like I said, we run through them. I mean, I did it 7 days a week. Yeah. And I mean, and it worked. Like, probably out of all the cars I sold, I probably had 3 that didn't bring like exactly what we thought they were. Yeah. I mean, it's just insane. It was like shooting fish in a barrel. I mean, it's a heyday. But, you know, and the thing that's funny is I've told that story. When I did the Vinwiki story and I was telling Ed about it, I met Ed through the radio show. Yeah. And you know, he was my very first calling guest on the radio. Okay. And we're talking about that. And Ed said, you said you're banned from eBay? And he said, yeah. I said, I'm actually mentioned in a book about eBay, actually. Yeah. And I says, I'm a late night infomercial guy from the eBay Outlaw. Get your tips. But and we were joking, laughing. He goes, well, I got a little project I'm working on. You know, Vinwiki didn't have 150,000 subs back then. And he said, why don't you come down to Atlanta and film? This is back before you went to the cool studio upstairs in his house and all this stuff. We're shooting in a creepy warehouse in Dorville, Georgia. Right. And we went there and we filmed, and I filmed that very first thing. I said, I've told this story probably 200 times. Sitting at a bar, just BS, and be like, how the hell do you get banned from eBay? Well, it starts here. And you go through it. And it's crazy. That story, I think it's still like the number 4 story ever told on Vinwiki. That story.
It's amazing.
You know? And now Vinwiki's like 1.3 mil, 1.4 million subs. And that's been, what, 3-4 years ago? And it's been, I've never done a YouTube video in my life until I did that one. And I did a few more while I was there, you know, that night. And it's
took off.
Crazy from there. And now we shoot YouTube videos 4 days a week.